From Top Chef to the top of the talk show world, our next guest has cooked her way into America's hearts.
Here to talk about her new book, her line of cookies, and her role on ABC's hit show, The Chew, is celebrity chef and television personality Carla Hall. Welcome.
Hi. Carla, okay. All the cooking and all the chewing, and you're still this thin. I don't understand. Explain, please.
Well, I was in the line for metabolic rate. Other people were in the breast line.
Okay.
You couldn't be in both those lines. Okay. So, you know, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm over here, and then all the other well-endowed women are over there.
Oh, they're over there. All right.
We've got to talk about your catchphrase, hootie hoo.
Hootie hoo.
Do people come up to you on the street saying that now?
They do. I mean, hootie hoo all the time. But now, instead of H-O-O, it's W-H-O, because it's not my husband on the other side of that who.
Right.
Because it's a two-part call that my husband and I did.
Oh, how does it work?
It's like hootie, and then if wherever he is in the store, you who. See?
Oh,
so you can
exactly.
Call and respond.
Call and respond so that you can find each other. And now, when he does it, I'm like,
who is that?
I'm not expecting it to be him.
Right. That's funny.
We've got to talk about everything you got going. I mean, hootie, who did that?
I
You
know.
got a cookbook and a cookie line.
I know. Yeah, this
you
is
had
my
me at cookie. What's going on?
Well,
over
this
here,
is
Miss
my
Carla?
second cookbook.
Okay.
It's Carla's Comfort Foods, favorite dishes from around the world. And I really wanted to show how people are very similar through their comfort foods, and you can travel with spices, and that's what this book is about. And then my cookie line, which is my heart, my dear, this is the only thing that came out of my career in catering.
Oh, really?
And it's small bites, cookies the size of sugar cubes, both sweet and savory.
Ooh.
And you got to try one.
I will.
Are you sweet or savory?
You don't have to tell me twice. Sweet and savory.
Sweet and savory.
Yes.
Are you sweet or savory?
I'm a little bit of sweet and a lot
Here,
of
try
savory.
this.
Okay. That's a goat cheese, and then and you can eat it on salads. You got to try the nuts. The harissa spice nuts are so good.
Oh, these are delicious.
And it's good with port. They are big flavor because they're paired.
Oh, they smell amazing
They are meant
as
to
well.
be paired
Smell that.
with
Oh my God, you gotta try
like
that.
beer
These are
or
delicious.
wine, tea,
Try that
coffee.
one.
I love them myself. I mean, I'm gonna chew
Yeah,
my
you can eat them
horn.
with everything, anything.
And the catchphrase is small bite, big flavor.
Exactly.
Very true.
And let me tell you why. Because as women, and I'm not going to exclude men, but as women, we want a little bit of everything. And you know how we go out, it's 1 plate, 5 forks, right? Seriously, that's how we do.
Yeah.
But this is, you want to have a buffet of things. You want everything. You don't want to commit.
Right.
You know, and so I have a buffet of cookies, and you get to have a little bit of everything.
I love
Well,
that.
the sad part, though, is that you start going like this, and before you know it, they're all gone. So you don't just eat a little bit. You can't.
can cheat.
How can you just eat a little?
Well, the thing is, they have all of it. They have whole ingredients. They have European-style butter, unbleached sugar, cage-free eggs. And when you have a bite, you are satisfied. And they're about 10 cookies for 100 calories. So they're not. It's not crazy, but it's not like it's air. So you feel satisfied.
It's true. And it's all clean products.
All
so
clean
much of
products.
the issues that we have with weight in this country now is because it's not real food.
That's it.
Right.
And it leaves a hole in your stomach. And so we're afraid of food. So what we do is we try to trick ourselves into having something that's low fat.
Right.
And I mean, even in my book, it's comfort food, but it's not fattening. I think there's a misnomer. You think, because I'm from the South, I'm a black woman from the South. So when I say comfort food, you think I'm going to be bringing you some smothered pork chops, some mac and cheese, and some greens. And don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just might bring that.
Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong. But you know, also palak paneer, you know, a spinach dish in the Indian cuisine. That's one of my favorites. Jollof rice is a favorite. It's in here.
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Jollof rice, right? Callaloo. That's in here. It's not fattening at all.
Well, as you toured around the world collecting recipes for this book, which cuisine surprised you the most?
I think I love African food. What surprised me is the parallels from the diaspora of African food to Southern food. You know, I mean, think about fufu, and you think about our hot water cornbread.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's just hot water cornbread is cooked. It's still a mush. It starts from white cornmeal, hot water, some fat. You make a mush, but you fry it. But the fufu you don't fry.
That's true.
You know, right? And you still eat it with your stew.
I love that you know about that.
Right.
Yes, girl.
She's like,
But you know, let me tell you, I had my DNA done, AfricanAncestry.com, and my ancestors are Nigerian.
There you
What?
go. Look,
I
I was
knew
like,
I
welcome to
liked
the family.
My sister. My sister.
Oh, I'm your sister.
Have you always been passionate about food?
I haven't. I started out in accounting. I wanted to major in theater. I did. I was an accountant, y'all.
Accountant.
An accountant. This is what we looked like back in the day.
You were not in accounting.
No, accounting. I was a CPA. Worked for Price Waterhouse in Tampa, Florida.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't think accountant think you.
No. I know. Yeah, I shouldn't have been.
Fun.
But I know. But I didn't get accepted into Boston University, so I said, I liked my accounting teacher, I'll go to Howard and major in accounting. But then I was afraid that I was gonna be 40 and hate my job. That was my biggest fear. So I quit and I went to Paris to model, as you do. You're like, okay, I don't like accounting, so let me go to Paris. You know?
Well, when you've got a body like that and the bone structure, modeling is an option. You should have done that first.
I didn't think about that.
So was it those years after modeling, you said, okay, I couldn't eat during those years, so now I'm gonna cook up everything, get a cookbook, cooking line.
You know, right? But you know, it was actually there because I was missing all of the food from my Sunday suppers. And it was there with the Sunday brunches with the models in the kitchen making all of this food from America. And I'm like, oh, this is what goes on in the kitchen. I didn't care before. I just came to eat. I don't care what happened between the grocery store or the garden and the table. I'm coming to the table. You know, but here, everybody's saying, oh, well, my mother does it like this. Oh, my mother does it like that. I had no idea what my mother did, what my grandmother did. And I became fascinated, and I started buying cookbooks.
Wow, do you remember your first major meal?
My first major meal was chicken pot pie.
Really?
Oh.
Yes, and that's why on Jimmy Fallon and then on Top Chef, I did the chicken pot pie, and that was my first thing. But I was in Paris when I was making it for friends, and I couldn't find celery. I could only find this thing like that looked like a leek. I'm like, what is this?
What is that? It'll work.
You know.
Well, speaking of Top Chef, many people have come to know and love you from the show. You were in a finalist as season 5 and 8. How does it feel to be on that show, and how did it change your life?
It's amazing. It truly is hard. The time is real. But I think you find out so much about yourself. You find out how big you can pull from this well of strength and endurance and tenacity. And it was amazing. And I feel like I have so many good friends from that show because we're kind of like this fraternity, and we understand what the other has gone through. It was amazing, and I owe so much of my success to that franchise. I really do.
So The Chew. It's a huge hit. Did you have any idea that the show would take off in this way? And what's it like to mix it up with Mr. Mario Batali?
Oh my God, let me tell you, it is my job to eat and talk to my friends.
It's a dream job.
What? I mean, it is so good. Like today, I just left there, and Mario had made, it was things my mom made, and he made this stuffed cabbage that was so good. It is amazing, and we're all really good friends. And you get to cook and eat everything every day. The best time of the year is during the holidays. Because you know how you make your menu in your head? We're having all this food, at least 10 dishes a day for 2 shows, and I'm like, oh no, that's what I'm gonna do.
Wait,
the next day.
Rewind. Carla, 10 dishes a day?
Yeah, from the recipes that we cook, so we're tasting. We're constantly eating. Girl, you need to learn how to taste.
What do you
Oh my gosh, you need to learn how to taste. I gained 20 pounds the first 3 months. I'm like, I don't want this show to survive.
Wow.
20 pounds the first 3 months, so then you had to learn how to taste. Just a little nibble and then pull back.
So
but isn't it hard when Mario's cooking for you? Yeah, it's hard.
Do you have a go-to meal besides the Popeyes?
And when I'm in New York, my go-to, and we were talking about collard greens and everything and smothered pork chops, it really is greens and beans and cornbread. When I'm here in New York, because, I mean, I'm sure I can get really good Southern food here, but I kind of want to make it myself exactly how I want it. And I'm up in that little apartment, you know, with nothing but no space and everything, you know, with the alarm going off. I'm like, yep, cornbread's good.
Oh, it's done.
Well, what's the key to just throwing down in the kitchen? Because I can't cook at all. So
it's your heart.
Your heart.
It is being engaged in the food. And I say to people, if you're not in a good mood, the only thing you should make is a reservation.
Oh.
Child, don't put any bad mojo in anybody's food.
Are you saying you can taste the love in the meal?
You can taste it, you can feel it. Your grandmother, she could have made the simplest dish for you. She could have made you a grilled cheese. And that grilled cheese is all lined up, it's golden, it's crispy, it's just all the edges and the cheese is all melted.
Oh, you're making me hungry.
And it just
and
it's so delicious. Right, it just oozes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because she loves you. She wanted you to have that grilled cheese. Okay, let's say that you were making that for somebody, you didn't really care, you didn't really want to do it, they just made you do it. Bread is burnt, cheese isn't even melted, the bread is all burnt,
dried out.
It's all like this. You know,
Okay.
Well, we want your meal, so where can we pick up your book and your cookies?
The cookies, you can go to carlahall.com. It tells you all about them. The book on any place, major bookstore or online that sells books. It's so much fun, so approachable. I want people to toot their own horn, even you, girl. I want you to do it.
Thank you so much. And made with love. I can taste it.
Thank you
Miss
so
Carla.
much.
You're
So good to
welcome.
see you. And, and you're watching Arise Entertainment 360.